This is Actar's Reviews, from anime to figures and beyond. Hey, this is Actar and welcome to another episode of Actar's Figure Reviews. In today's episode, it's more Madoka once again as we take a look at a Figma figure that I and many a Madoka fan have been waiting for. Figma Akemi Homura from Puella Magi Madoka Magica. Again, before beginning the review, it would be unwise of me not to inform you that this review necessitates me talking about a major spoiler for the series, one that gets reviewed in episode 10 of the series. So if you are the type who avoids spoilers like the plague, please, I implore you to first watch until episode 10 of the series and then come back. And now that that's out of the way, I won't be liable for any ruined viewing experiences. Honestly, Homu Homu is undoubtedly my favorite character from the series for a multitude of reasons. Some would argue that, in reality, she's only making things worse and worse as each timeline progresses, and that she's technically doing this for her own emotional satisfaction. Now, I do understand that logic, and I would agree that to a certain extent, she's technically being selfish, thinking that she's doing all this to save her friends and exacerbating things through her misguided methods. However, I can forgive her because I take it that the character of Homura is flawed. Not to mention, I don't think that even Homura would have realized that with each trip back in time, she would only have made things even worse. And of course, one can really admire her dedication and love for Madoka, though how pure that love is open for debate. Anyways, opinions and analysis aside, let's jump straight into the review. The box has a mainly purple color scheme with random shapes and swirls all throughout. Honestly, I'm just not feeling this at all. If you ask me, I would have gone with something much darker, like perhaps the clockwork design background during Homura's transformation sequence in episode 11, but that's just me. On the sides, we have a portrait of Homura, and on the back, a collage of pictures featuring the figure in various poses and showing off the various accessories that she comes with. So, let's open this up and take a look at the contents inside. Be it battling witches, being Madoka's guardian angel, or looking for her lost hat, Homura is sure to be smartly dressed in her rather sleek, snazzy, and suave magical girl outfit. This is definitely something that only the Figma figures can pull off, as the blouse is made up of soft PVC, preserving that smooth, anime-accurate aesthetics. Details-wise, GSC has nailed them right on the head, as you'd probably come to expect from Figma figures at this point in time. Points to note would be the sculpted ribbons, crisply painted lines and diamonds, and minute soul gem on her hand. In terms of articulation, the light and uninhibiting design of a magical girl outfit really complements the Figma joints and enables you to pull off literally any pose that you can think of. Being an action girl, this is indeed welcomed. As mentioned before, the figure does have a number of parts that are made of soft PVC, such as her front hair strands and clothes. This will allow for the preservation of anime accuracy whilst not hindering the posability. And for Figma Homura, her head can move up and down, left and right. Her arms can move forwards and backwards, in and out. They can also rotate at the shoulder. Her arm is actually double ball jointed, once at the arm and once at the shoulder itself, to offer that little bit of extra posability. Her shoulders do bend, her wrists turn, and they can also move forwards and backwards. Unfortunately, even though Figma Homura's blouse is made of soft PVC, the possibility of her waist is still rather restricted, and you can't really bend her waist that far forward without the joint popping out. But that being said, she does have a pretty good rotational waist joint. Her legs can move forwards and backwards, in and out. They can also rotate at the upper thigh. Her knees do bend quite a great deal. And as for her feet, they can move forwards and backwards, rotate side to side this way, and pivot side to side this way as well. And I nearly did forget to mention that Figma Homura has two Figma joints in her hair that will allow you to pose her hair however you like to fit whatever pose you come up with. But that's just the half of it. A good figure isn't complete without good accessories, so let's take a look at those right now. First, the Figma Basics. We have the Figma 3-jointed stand, and do note the extra option part that will allow you to plug the stand in from Figma Homura's side. The Figma Base, and Figma Ziploc bag that will allow you to store and keep track of all those pesky accessories. Included with Figma Homura are 2 exchangeable faces. Other than the stoic expression that you see her wear throughout most of the series, we also have a battle-ready expression and a smiling one, though this one would be more suited for use with an accessory that we'll be getting to in just a second. Next, she comes with numerous pairs of exchangeable hands, ranging from closed-fisted to ones that will allow you to hold her weapons, and it is indeed great to see that her soul gem has been properly recreated on all of her left hands. For character-specific accessories, we first have her most important accessory of all, her shield, which is her main magical artifact. Her shield is, interestingly enough, not a separate piece, but a whole another exchangeable forearm. Simply pop her hand and forearm off to replace it. I personally feel that they were wise to do this, as otherwise her shield would have been a nightmare to pose and align if it were just a separate clip-on or slide-on piece like it is with the Nandroid version. The shield itself is aptly sculpted for its size and has all the appropriate detailing. And with that, we come to the biggest problem that I have with this set. They didn't include an opened version of her shield. Oh, this is beyond disappointing. This is absolutely appalling. Homura's one and only special power, as you know, is the ability to stop time. As I've said time and time again, the power to manipulate time is one of my all-time favorite special powers, and that's a big reason as to why I find Homura so freaking awesome. That being said, when she activates her powers to stop time, 3 globes on her shield open to reveal 2 purple spheres and a clockwork mechanism. Without that open shield, it would be impossible to recreate any scenes when she stops time. I know many of you think I'm blowing this out of proportion, and I am. But being an accessory that is so integral to Homura's magical ability, you'd think that GSC would put in the added effort to at least provide an exchangeable one. And the shield itself is detachable, and I highly doubt that it would cost GSC that much extra capital to just include one more tiny little piece of plastic. As it stands, I am seriously considering buying another one to have it custom painted, but you know what? I am not going to do that, because I know I'll be playing right into their hands. Heartbroken. Anyways, moving on, we come to the other reasons for Homura's appeal, her arsenal of weapons. It is no understatement to say that Homura is a one-army magical girl, as having a special power that has 0 offensive capability, she has to rely on conventional weapons that she borrows from the Yakuza and the military. Figma Homura comes with 4 of those weapons. We have an 84mm unguided single-shot anti-tank weapon, a Desert Eagle 50AE, a homemade bomb, and a golf club. Yeah, the latter 2 are again mainly for use with the next accessory, but I do have to say that these are some impressive looking weapons. All of them are chock full of sculpted and painted details that make them magnificent miniature replicas of their real-world counterparts. Seriously, who doesn't like girls with heavy military equipment? While many would be already satisfied with these weapons, I am not. In the series, Homura used a plethora of weapons, and these cannot be even considered the tip of the iceberg. So, what would I have liked to have seen included? Well, for starters, an L16 81mm mortar, a Type 89 assault rifle, and an M249 light machine gun. So I bet you're wondering, what was up with the happy face, the homemade bomb, and the golf club? Actually, no I don't, because if you were thinking that, you haven't watched until episode 10 of the series like I told you to, and you've already spoiled yourself. But in all seriousness, the final accessories that we get is an entirely separate back exchangeable hairpiece and a pair of tiny glasses. When used together with an exchangeable facepiece, it gives you an entirely new head. Interestingly enough, Figma Homura features a brand new glasses system. Previously, with other Figma figures like Yuki and Nodoka, the glasses were attached directly to the exchangeable hairpieces. In this case, the glasses are an entirely separate piece, and you can hook them directly onto any of the 3 exchangeable faces via these 2 notches. This is an ingenious system as it not only saves on the cost and the hassle of keeping track of an additional hairpiece, it will also allow you to have the glasses as a separate prop accessory. So this is who Homura really is before her fates cross with Madoka, a dainty and meek Meganeko with pleats. Fans affectionately call her Megamura or Moemura. The golf club and homemade bombs are her two weapons of choice before she was able to acquire better hardware. With this, you'll be able to recreate Moemura's famous Moe golf technique from the phenomenal doujin game Grief Syndrome. This is unequivocally a superb inclusion as you literally get two figures in this one tiny package. Not to mention, fans who will want to have both Homura and Moemura displayed side by side will have to buy another set, which I just might do. Don't get me wrong, it's definitely not because I want another shield. And lastly, you are of course free to mix and match between the exchangeable faces, glasses and hairstyles. In conclusion, despite my nitpicks, this is undeniably a stellar piece from GSC. You have anime accuracy, posability, and several great accessories all in this one tiny package. Not to mention, they also provide you the parts to create Moemura, which is again like having two figures in one. I wouldn't say that the missing open shield is a deal breaker, but people who are especially nitpicky and anal about the details like I am need to be aware of what they're getting themselves into. Also, I know that many people are going to get her for weapons to use with the other figures, and yes, with regards to that, it's also a great selling point for Figma Homura. So, this is Actar saying, see you guys in the next episode.